I got sued for a pool that doesn't even exist. No water, no construction, no permit, just the wild imagination of my HOA president, Karen. And when I laughed at her accusation, she called the cops on me in front of the entire neighborhood. My name's Lucas, 33 engineer, newly moved into what I thought was the perfect suburban neighborhood. The kind with clean sidewalks, porch lights glowing at dusk, and neighbors who wave when they mow their lawns. After 6 years of apartment living, owning a quiet 3-bedroom home on a cul-de-sac felt like winning the lottery. I wasn't looking for drama. I just wanted to build a life, peace, privacy, maybe a garden. But what I didn't know was that I'd bought a house directly across from her. Karen, president of the HOA, and a woman so obsessed with control she'd eventually accuse me of building a pool that didn't exist, just to ruin my life. The first time we met, Karen walked straight up to me like I owed her something. Not a welcome to the neighborhood or a smile, just, "Your trash bins are still on the curb. That's a violation." I'd lived there for 3 days. I brushed it off at first, thought maybe she was just intense. But over the next few weeks, I noticed things. She'd stand on her porch, arms folded, watching my every move. If I parked slightly crooked, I'd get a printed notice in my mailbox the next day. If I left my porch light on past 10 p.m., somehow that too was against community aesthetic. I tried to keep the peace, smile, nod. But Karen wasn't interested in peace. She wanted obedience. Then came the pool. One morning I stepped outside to find a thick envelope taped to my door. Notice of violation, unauthorized pool construction for $1,400 deadline to respond. 5 days I stood there, stunned. What pool? There was no pool in my backyard. No plans, no construction, just a flat lawn and a broken bird bath. I thought it had to be a mistake. So I did what any reasonable person would. I walked across the street and rang Karen's doorbell. She opened the door like she'd been expecting me. "There's no pool," I said. "What is this about?" She narrowed her eyes. "Don't play games with me. I've seen the trucks, the concrete deliveries, the workmen in your yard." I blinked. "Karen, I'm building a raised garden bed, out of bricks, not a swimming pool." She scoffed. "Tell it to the board," and slammed the door in my face. Within days, the neighborhood started whispering. Someone posted in the HOA Facebook group, "Lucas thinks he's above the rules. Secret pool project?" Suddenly, neighbors stopped waving. A couple even crossed the street when I walked my dog. I tried to clear things up, posted pictures of my backyard. No pool, just dirt, mulch, and tomato plants. But the posts mysteriously vanished, and then I found a drone buzzing over my property. I reported it to the HOA. Karen wrote back that authorized aerial inspections fall within HOA jurisdiction. I was being watched, and it wasn't long before the real escalation came. A formal lawsuit. Karen had used HOA funds to file a claim in small claims court, demanding I pay fines for unauthorized structures and excessive water drainage. It would have been laughable, except now I had to defend myself, hire a lawyer, take time off work, all over a non-existent pool. The court date arrived. Karen showed up dressed like a politician, stack of papers, smug smile, and a folder labeled photographic evidence. My lawyer leaned over and whispered, "Relax, we've got this." Karen strutted up to the judge and presented photos. Blurry shots of a wheelbarrow, a pile of bricks, a hose on the lawn. She claimed they were part of an underground water system, that I was evading HOA guidelines with covert construction. The judge looked confused. Then it was my turn. We presented time-stamped photos. A letter from the contractor confirming the work was a garden bed. Even a walk-through video of the backyard showing there was nothing but grass and tomatoes. The judge raised an eyebrow at Karen. "So, where exactly is the pool?" Karen sputtered. "It was there. He must have covered it up." The courtroom chuckled. I couldn't help it. I laughed. That's when it happened. Karen stood up, pointed at me, and screamed, "This is harassment! He's laughing at me! I'm calling the police!" She actually pulled out her phone and dialed 911 in the middle of the courtroom. Needless to say, the judge wasn't impressed. The case was thrown out. Karen was ordered to pay my legal fees, and within 2 weeks, the HOA board held an emergency vote. Turns out, Karen had misused thousands in HOA funds to launch personal vendettas. Mine was just one of many. She was voted out, removed as president, banned from holding any position of authority in the HOA again. I even got a handwritten letter from the board apologizing for the unfortunate experience. As for Karen, last I heard, she tried to run for city council. She lost. Badly. I moved here hoping for peace and quiet, and for a while it felt like I'd walked into a sitcom. But what I learned is this: power-hungry people will do anything to feel in control, even invent a swimming pool that doesn't exist. But truth? It doesn't need a permit. If you enjoyed this story and want more real-life drama with a twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What would you have done if someone accused you of building a secret pool? Until next time, stay grounded, stay sane, and always keep the receipts.